Okay, good morning, students. We are going to start with grade 10 economics topic, which is globalization and the Indian economy. Okay, so
Yes.
we are going to start with this topic. What do you understand by the word globalization? We have heard this word number of times in number of contexts. Globalization actually in easiest terms mean integration of world market. Okay, integration of world market, and I'm using the word here only integration of world market because we are pertaining our topic to Indian economy only. Okay, other than that, globalization also means that it is integration of people, it is integration of culture. So it has actually a lot of dimensions to it. It's not just economy, but since we are concentrating on the economics part of it, we are going to focus from that point of view. Okay, now, as a matter of fact, if you have seen that today, the world market is filled with number of goods, right? We have a lot of variety that's available in the market here. We read about the various sectors of Indian economy in the previous chapter. Can anyone tell me what were those sectors? Which are the three major sectors?
Tertiary sector, secondary sector, and primary sector.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so how are these sectors or this part of economy connected to globalization, and do they benefit each other? So this is what we are going to study in this topic. You can see some of the brands over here. Can anyone name me the brands that you can see here? Yes, very easy. The shoe is Nike. The car
Nike,
is
Mercedes,
Mercedes, and this Apple products, right?
Apple.
So iPhone, okay, iPhone and products related to Apple. Okay, so do you think these companies are actually Indian companies? No, Apple at least is definitely not Indian, right?
No,
Even
ma'am.
Mercedes. But the products of those are available in our country, right? So that is what is one of the aspect of globalization. Globalization has helped people to have a variety of products in their own area, in their own country. So, are these companies Indians? Are these products available in India? Yes, as the name suggests, these are available in India. And how are they available in India? Do you think that every country, wherever these iPhones are sold, has a production unit of that? Or it has an office which is pertaining only dedicatedly working for Apple brand? Can you say that each and every country has that? Offices or factories related to all these products that you saw there? I'm asking you, is it that all these companies have set up their organization or their manufacturing unit or something in every country of the world?
Mm. They produce the products and then they export it eventually to some other countries.
Correct, correct. So now, see, you have studied in history that trade, I mean, trade becomes an important aspect because what we are talking here is when we are going to market and buying something, it is as good as a trade, right? So, trade as a means of livelihood started right from Harappan times. During those times, it was just locally available products that were sold with the help of barter system. Then later on, with advent of others, Mughals or somebody else, trade started. We started dealing with money, the concept of currency, and now these trade during the East India Company time when we were talking, we were of course dealing with money because the conditions of Indian people became very poor under the British. But what was their way of dealing this trade? What they were doing, they were taking the raw materials from our country, like for example cotton or spices. They were taking it from our country and then sending it back to their country, getting it into a produced finished produce, and then selling it back in their colonies. So what was that? The transport was from India or some other colony to Britain, then turning it into some product which is useful, and then again transporting it back to India or some of the other colonies where they would sell it at a higher price. But all this used to take a lot of time, right? And a lot of investment as well, because each time you are spending once for carrying the raw material, then you're spending another time for bringing the raw material, for bringing the finished goods. Are you getting it? So now the thing that has undergone change is that We have the concept of MNC, or multinational companies or multinational corporations. What is it? Have you heard of it? What does it mean to you? What is multinational company? It means that a company which has a production unit in, or which deals with this kind of work in more than 4 countries or 3 countries, you can call them as multinational companies. And what do they do? What is the prime, any company or any business organization, what is their prime motive behind starting their business? Like, what was the idea of East India Company when they started the trade? From any business, what does a businessman seek? Profit, correct? So for profit, if I want to earn profit, you know the condition also, right? What is the condition? Again, in maths you have dealt with that. What is the condition? If the selling price is more than the cost price, that means I have to spend less on buying the raw materials, or I have to spend less on getting it produced. But then I should be able to sell it at a very high price. Then only I can say that I am in profit. Correct? So, what do these companies do now? They set up offices where they can get resources and labor at a cheaper price. How does this help them?
Their cost price becomes low.
Yes. So if they are setting up where these resources are available abundantly, or the raw materials are available abundantly, they are saving back on their transport price. They don't have to transport it from one place to other. Nominal transport will be there in local transport only. They don't have to arrange international transport. So they are actually saving back. Then in countries like, there are countries in the world where the population is high and the economic conditions of the people is not very good. So there they can get labor also at a cheaper price. Right? For example, you have many African countries, or you have Bangladesh, or even parts of India where this is set up, where they can, because of high population and poverty, they can get labor at a very, very less price. So what happens? What are they actually gaining from it? They are actually, the gain is, they are actually saving back on the production cost, right? They are spending less on buying the raw materials because they are opening up local factory, and they are also spending less on the labor wages. So thus they are almost saving back on 50 to 60% of their production cost. Do you agree to this? Do you feel this is a correct statement? Okay. To set up factories or acquire raw material, an investment is required. To set up any organization, you need money. You have to buy the land, you have to set up the factory, you have to buy the machinery. So there are a lot of things that require money. And when a foreign company invests in all this, it is called as foreign investment. Now, I want one of you to unmute and tell me, what is the use of this foreign investment? Why the governments of different countries prefer foreign investments? Yes,
Ma'am, can
Sanchita.
you define foreign
See,
investments?
foreign investment means what? You know that, for example, if the Tatas, let's say Tata is Indian company, right? Tata wants to set up a factory in some other country. Okay, when he wants to set up a factory, he requires lot of things. The very first thing is, if you want to set up a factory, he would want land, correct? Second thing is, he would need the construction work getting being done, so that the factory is set up. Third thing he will require is, he will have to invest in the best of the technologically advanced machinery. So that is his third thing where he has to invest. And after all this, the factory is set up and they start working. So what Tata is doing is his investment. And if he is doing it that in some other country, for that country, it is a foreign investment, right? So why do countries prefer foreign investment? What are the advantages? We are going to gradually do it in this chapter, but does anything come to your mind? See, what happens is, the local companies running these setups benefit in 2 ways from these investments. See, for, I give you example that one way is, I set up completely new production house over there. And then I'll end up spending more because I purchase a land, then I spend on building it, then I spend on finding labor, then I spend on my machinery and technologically advanced things. So one way of cutting down for me, if I want to set up a company in some other country, one way of cutting down my cost is I can do one thing. I can take help of local companies which are already established there. So I can do in partnership with them, correct? I can uh, tell them that okay, you produce this in your production unit, I am only giving you the capital or the money that is required for that.
Like
What?
Maruti Suzuki.
Oh yes, yes, many car units which are actually set up in India. You're right. So what happens? Is there any advantage of is there, if something like this happens, is there an advantage for the local company as well as the MNC? Like I'm trying to tie up with a local company, or I am trying to take over the local company. Is it having any advantage for me as an MNC?
No.
Will it have any advantage to me? Like take it in a very simpler manner. Let's
Yes,
take
it
an
will have.
example. If you are going to settle in some outside country, okay, what you can do is you have two options. You hunt for a house, you purchase a house, okay, so you're spending on that. You furnish your house, so you're spending on that, okay, and you also spend on buying a car maybe because you need that vehicle to go to your office, or you spend on transportation, maybe your metro or your bus ticket or something like that. So these are the costs you will have. But if one of your friends is already settled there, okay, and he is willing to give you a room in his house for a nominal rent, is that kind of arrangement suitable for you? Will it be suitable for you? Yes. Why? It would be cheaper. Point number one, it would be cheaper. I don't have to. And what happens is I have to go to different places, I have to hunt for a good house, I have to see the quality. But here something is already established, he already has a house, so you can actually save back on your money. Same thing happens, the local setup or the local company has already have their setup in that part, correct? So they are established in that particular area or that particular state or that particular country. So if a foreign company, MNC makes a tie-up with them, they are saving back on their building of that new production house entirely, right? Are you getting my point? Okay, so MNCs provide finance required for upgradation and they may also provide them with technology. So the local business will be benefited in two ways. They will have the finance also and they will have the uh, technology also, which is provided to them by the MNC. So they are also saving back on their cost. So it is advantageous for both of them. Okay. So sometimes MNCs also outsource production to small producers and buy the goods of them from cheap price. I'll give you an example. Uh, all of us are aware of Levi's, correct? Or all of us are aware of the footballs or cricket bats, the boys, which are branded and they're available in the market. So what happens is, for example, I was giving you example of Levi's. What happens? Have you actually opened? Lot of small labels are put in the Levi's jeans that we purchase, like for where it is made. So what label do we see? We see made in India label, or we see made in Bangladesh label, or we see made in Egypt label. But Levi's as a company is, which company is Levi's? Is it Indian company? Is it Egyptian company? Levi's is which company? So, however, when selling further to the consumers, the prices are hiked since MNCs enjoy this authority and power. It means what? I get as a Levi's person, what I do is I get it done from some local tailors. I get the jeans stitched, okay, thereby saving on my cost price of it. I have to maybe spend only giving them 200 rupees for each jeans. And then in the market, once that on the pocket I put my label, my brand name, I sell it in the market as at how much price? How much price? At what price is it sold, the Levi's jeans in the market? Have you all gone to malls to purchase it? Yes. So the price is not less than 2000, right? Just see, they are giving per jeans, they are giving only 200. But what we are landing up paying is how much? Almost 1500
2000.
extra,
Hmm.
let's say. So they are saving
Yes.
back on their prices. So they are outsourcing it. It's not that Levi's has set up their manufacturing unit, like they have set up a boutique and they have organized all world class tailors to come and stitch their products. It's not like that, isn't it? So now somebody will say that the quality matters, and yes, quality matters, but these MNCs, they have the authority and power to dictate, because the local business is a small business. They are spread only in their area or their state maybe. So if they are getting that kind of tie up from some MNC, they are happy to do it. Are you understanding the difference? Yes, this way production across remote and dispersed locations get interlinked. So maybe some small village in Bangladesh has produced that jean. Actually, some tailor in Bangladesh has made that jeans. But when we are going and buying it in the world market, we are buying it under the name of Levi's. Correct? Are you getting it? So one small
Yes.
place in Bangladesh or one small village in China gets connected to the rest of the world because of all these things. Okay, I may not know which local company has done that, because now I know the product only because of the name Levi's or only because of the name something else. That is different. But in this way, everyone is contributing to something, right? See, now explain the statement. When a brand tag says made in India, but they are not Indian products, what is the difference? Hmm? I'll present a textbook now. Have
The
you
production
seen?
is in India.
Yes. You see the tag of made in India, but you know actually that the company is not Indian. So what I was explaining is that, see here, can you see, for example, let's take the example of iPhone. Okay, iPhone, Apple products quite famous everywhere in the world and people want to buy them. Now the software of that is being, see, MNC's work is what? It is having their production. See, if you see the definition here, an MNC is a company that owns or controls production in more than one nation. Okay. So where do they set up offices? They set up offices in regions where they can get cheap labor and other resources. Okay. Now, how do they find out those places? See here. They find out these places, like, for example, China provides the advantage of being a cheap manufacturing location. Okay. Mexico and Eastern Europe are useful for their closeness to markets. So, which are the other factors? Other factors are, am I getting raw materials at a cheap price? Am I getting labor at a cheap price? Are the markets near to me? So, these are the places where they set up. And usually, you'll see most of the call centers of these companies being established in India. That's because majority of the Indian people are English speaking youth and they can provide customer care services. So, this way they have broken down their work into different parts, and each part is set up in some other part of the world. So thereby they are actually saving back on a larger aspect of it. Like, imagine in British time what used to happen. They were taking raw materials from ship to Britain. So one time money is spent on that. Okay. Then they are manufacturing it there in their factories. Okay. So they are spending on their own labor. So the British people are only working there. And then they are bringing it back to India or some other country and selling it. So again, there is another set of transport expense, which is very costly. Instead of that, now what the MNCs are doing, they are setting up that production house in India itself. So what will happen? They can save back on raw material because the raw material is abundantly available here, cotton is available here. Plus, they get the labor also at a cheaper price. Yes? Are you understanding what is an MNC? Are you understanding what do they look for when they are setting up their business? Yes? Are you understanding what is a foreign investment? See here,
Yes.
any investment that is made with the hope of the assets that it will earn profits is called as a foreign investment. Okay? Have you understood this? Then what I was talking of here is they take over. So production is generally dispersed at dispersed location and thus it is getting interlinked. Have you understood all the important points that we have discussed till now? Yes? So once again, just quickly recapitulating what we did, what is globalization, we did what is trade. Okay, we did the economic aspect of it, that is how globalization helps the MNCs and the local companies as well. Okay, and then slowly we will be moving forward to when we do the next part in the next period, we will move forward to the government policies of each country, how they are helping these MNCs, or are they advantages or are they disadvantages for these companies. Okay.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.